Okay, so, we love getting your suggestions for deep dives. And this one is really something special.
Yeah, someone sent in this discussion about, all the different sides of what real love actually means.
12 different aspects, actually. And it got us thinking, how often do we actually stop and break down something as big as love?
Right. We use the word all the time, but do we really understand what it means, beyond this, the surface level?
Exactly. So that's the mission for this deep dive.
Yeah.
To, extract the real essence of these ideas and, hopefully help everyone listening walk away with a clearer picture.
And maybe a few surprises along the way, right? Some of these points are pretty thought-provoking.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so the first thing that jumped out from your source material is that real love starts with God. It's saying that any kind of love that doesn't have that as its foundation, well, it might not last when things get tough.
It's interesting right off the bat because it's saying, hey, there's this source of love that's bigger than us, more stable. And if we tap into that, then the love we experience and express has a better chance of, standing the test of time.
It's got this inherent strength because of where it comes from.
Exactly. It's not just a fleeting feeling or, something we make up ourselves.
That really makes you think about the staying power of different relationships, right? What's fueling them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then the source goes on to say that love actually grows stronger when we're close to God.
Okay.
It even mentions that really intense love can be a sign of being close to God. How do you see those two things connecting?
Well, if God is this ultimate source of love, like we were just talking about,
right?
Then being close to that source, it makes sense that our understanding of love would deepen, our ability to love would grow.
Oh, like being an apprentice learning from a master.
Yeah, exactly. The closer you are to the source, the more you absorb, the more skilled you become.
Okay, I like that. And then that passionate love piece. Well, maybe that's the outward sign of all that inner growth.
Right, it's overflowing. It can't be contained.
Yeah. Okay, now the third point shifts gears a bit. It says, real love wants the best for other people. Not just what's good for them, but the very best. And it even ties this back to 1 Corinthians 13, that famous passage about love.
Oh, yeah.
And then it says, someone who's always criticizing other people might have a problem with love.
Yeah. So how do you see wanting the best versus just the good, and how does that tie in with being critical?
So wanting what's good for someone that's meeting their immediate needs, right?
Okay.
But wanting their best, it's deeper. Okay. It's about their long-term growth, their potential, their true flourishing.
So it's not just about right now.
Exactly. It's a much bigger picture. And when someone's always finding fault, they're kind of stuck in that present moment. They're not really seeing the potential the person could grow into.
It's they're focused on fixing instead of nurturing.
Exactly.
Okay, now this next one, number 4, it's really powerful. It says, love can actually transform people.
It has this ability to bring out the best in them, even turning, trash into treasure. Those are the words used. And the source gives these really vivid examples, even personal stories, about how love changed people's lives. Have you seen that kind of transformation play out in real life?
I think what's so amazing about love is that it can create this space where people feel safe and accepted.
Right.
And when you feel that way, truly loved, it breaks down your defenses. You're more willing to take risks to grow.
Like a plant finally getting the right soil and sunshine.
Exactly. Love can nourish us in a way that nothing else can. And then all that potential that was hidden, it starts to bloom.
Oh, it's beautiful. And those personal stories, even though they're unique to that person, they show that this power of love, it's universal.
It really is.
Okay, the next characteristic is about protection. It says real love shields people from pain and hurt.
Okay.
It even goes so far as to say that people who intentionally cause pain are bankrupt of the love of God. And it stresses how important it is to avoid words and actions that hurt other people. I mean, that seems pretty fundamental to any caring relationship, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. At the heart of love is this deep care and compassion.
Right.
And naturally, you want to protect the people you love from anything that could harm them physically or emotionally.
So if you're intentionally causing pain.
Yeah, that's the opposite of love. It's a complete disregard for the other person's well-being.
And even when there's conflict, like disagreements, arguments.
Right. Even then, the goal in a loving relationship should be to work things out without inflicting unnecessary pain.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Point number 6 talks about how love adds value to the person being loved.
Okay.
Like it fills these empty spaces in their lives, and it contrasts love, which makes people more valuable, with lust, which does the opposite. It also calls out people who use other people for their own gain. So how do you see real love actually adding value to someone?
Think about how it feels when someone genuinely believes in you when they support your dreams. That belief alone, it's incredibly empowering. It makes you feel worthy, valuable.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what love does. It sees the worth in someone, even when they don't see it themselves, and it nurtures that worth.
And using someone that's the opposite.
Right. It's putting your needs above theirs, taking advantage of them, and ultimately it diminishes their sense of self.
So it's all about building up versus tearing down.
Exactly.
Okay, so point number 7 talks about the lasting impact of real love. It says that it leaves these unforgettable positive memories, unlike relationships that are marked by pain. And it emphasizes that making a positive impact takes effort.
Right.
So what makes certain loving actions so memorable, so powerful?
I think it often comes down to intentionality and genuine care. When someone goes out of their way to do something kind or thoughtful, it shows they really cherish you. And those acts of love, they create these emotional anchors, these positive memories we can hold on to.
Oh, it's so true. It's like building a treasury of good moments.
Yeah, exactly. And on the flip side, relationships that are filled with pain, they tend to leave scars and negative anchors.
So real love is about intentionally building a legacy of positivity in someone's life.
Beautifully put.
Okay, moving on to patience. Point number 8 says that real love waits. It's patient, especially in courtship. It emphasizes that you shouldn't rush into physical intimacy before marriage, and this also applies to other relationships like parenting. So why is patience such a vital part of real love?
Well, I think patience shows respect for the other person's pace, their boundaries, their individual journey.
Right.
It's like saying, I value you and our connection more than my own immediate desires.
So in dating, it lets you build a strong emotional and intellectual bond before bringing in the physical aspect.
Exactly. And in parenting or other relationships, patience allows space for growth, for learning, even for correction without creating pressure or resentment.
And when someone's impatient, especially about pushing boundaries.
Yeah, that can often signal that they're more focused on themselves than on the other person's well-being.
Point number 9 brings in this idea that real love is principled. It follows laws and standards.
Okay.
The source even suggests that when love is missing, people tend to disregard rules, and it connects love to righteousness. So what's the link between personal ethics and genuine love?
This is saying that love isn't just a feeling, it's also a way of being in the world, a set of guidelines for how we act. So when we truly love other people, that naturally extends to respecting their rights, their boundaries, and, the rules of society.
And when someone disregards principles?
Yeah, that can come from a place of self-centeredness, which is the opposite of love's focus on others.
So love is like this moral compass guiding us toward actions that are just and caring.
Exactly.
Okay. Point number 10 takes us into the realm of feeling, specifically empathy.
Okay.
It says real love involves feeling what other people are feeling, putting yourself in their shoes. This extends even to how we treat animals. There's a reference to Proverbs here, and it says that a lack of feeling is a warning sign. So why is empathy so essential to real love?
Because empathy is the foundation of true connection. If you can't understand and share another person's feelings, it's hard to truly care for them,
Right,
to act in their best interest.
right.
Empathy lets us step outside of our own heads and see the world through their eyes.
And including animals in this expands the idea of empathy to encompass all living beings.
Yeah, it speaks to a fundamental capacity for compassion.
We're almost there. Point number 11 is about giving. The source uses this powerful example. God so loved the world he gave, and it shares a personal story about a small but thoughtful gift. The emphasis is on giving without expecting anything in return. So what's the core message here about giving as an expression of love?
I think the key is that giving in this sense isn't about grand gestures or material wealth. It's about willingly investing your time, your energy, your resources into another person's happiness. And that story about the small treat for his wife.
Yeah.
It shows that it's often the thoughtfulness, the intention behind the giving that really speaks volumes.
This is about a mindset of generosity versus a mindset of what can I get out of this?
Exactly.
And finally, point number 12, forgiveness. It says that real love forgives, and holding on to past hurts can destroy a relationship. But it also makes this really important point that forgiveness is about letting go of the hurt. It doesn't mean you have to excuse the behavior or stay in a harmful situation.
Right. That's such a crucial distinction.
So how do you see those two things working together?
Well, forgiveness is essential for any relationship to thrive. Holding on to resentment and bitterness that just poisons everything.
It blocks you from moving forward.
Exactly. But it's not about pretending the hurt didn't happen or saying that the behavior was okay.
So you're releasing the emotional burden on yourself.
Yes, but you're still using wisdom to decide how to move forward in the relationship.
Wow, this has been such a rich exploration of these 12 aspects of real love.
It really has.
From that possible divine origin to the emphasis on empathy and forgiveness, it's a really comprehensive picture.
It makes you think about love not just as this feeling, but as an active force guiding our thoughts and actions in our relationships.
So to everyone listening, as you reflect on these 12 facets of real love, how do they challenge or deepen your understanding of what it means to give and receive love? Is there one characteristic that resonates most strongly with you? And why this deep dive has given us all a lot to ponder as we navigate the important connections in our lives.
It really has.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.